I have just, one announcement to make. You know, in February, there's going to be a retreat here for Rudy Samadhi, and there is one place open. Somebody had to drop out. If you have any thoughts about doing this and you want to come and do it and you haven't signed up, let me know or let Jennifer know. And there's a place available. I can only fit so many people in my apartment. So, you know, I don't have a 4,000 square foot loft anymore. So there has to be a limit to the people that come. But there is one place available. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Hi, Stuart. I have a question. Uh, Isha. At the moment, I'm experiencing a bit of
Please speak up a little bit.
okay. At the moment, I'm experiencing some panic and disorientation. I think it's just I'm having some shifts. But when that happens, um, what would you say is the ground or the center to kind of focus on, I guess, below the navel, but kind
Well,
of metaphorically as well?
look, the reason why that happens is you fall back into old patterns in the way you approach things. Falling back into old patterns, enables you to really, become almost crippled by that kind of panic that will manifest. It's your teacher. It's telling you, like so many of the answers that I give, it's telling you that you have work to do on yourself, that you still have to grow, you still have to build the power to stay focused in the chakra below the navel, which is the very core of your being. And if listen to it, you'll say, okay, don't be afraid of it. Don't get freaked out because you feel some panic and you feel upset. Say, okay, my teacher, I have work that I need to do on me. And then you do the work. And incrementally, you get over that kind of thing. It's step by step by step, where suddenly one day you're in your life living and things happen that don't freak you out, that don't get you full of panic. You're no longer falling back into all those old habits and that old behavior of the way you functioned once when you would deal with those kind of situations. And I think that's, not only for you, Leisha, but it's for everybody. We all have this kind of thing. And generally, it occurs and it kind of paralyzes us when we allow ourselves to fall back into those old patterns, that old behavior, the way we once functioned, instead of being, capable of staying grounded and centered because we have built that capacity in ourselves. It's like learning mathematics, I mean, you don't start out learning trigonometry and algebra, and you start out with 1 and 1 equals 2. And then you go into multiplication, things and adding and everything, and division, and you slowly build the knowledge that takes you into an advanced way of doing mathematics. This is no different. You start out with, learning how to get centered below the navel, learning how to keep the mind quiet, learning how to keep the heart open, learning how to get grounded in yourself. And then you begin to learn it and it grows and it becomes an organic part of your nature. You just live that way because you have built that kind of system. And then, when you have an experience of panic, you can instantly take it below the navel and transform it into chi. Same thing with depression, unhappiness, fear, insecurity. You can draw it down to the navel chakra, transform it into harmony and balance, chi. Because all of those negative things are just energy, and they affect us according to the amount of growth that's taken place. And so, I mean, ultimately, you get to a place, and I truly mean this, where there is no positive and negative anymore. It's just energy. And you have the capacity to take depression and unhappiness and to transform it into chi, into energy, into harmony, balance, rootedness inside you. Now, this is an extraordinary thing to learn because it's a thing that not only enables us to have a spiritual life, but it enables us to work out our karma. Karma and what it brings to us usually creates panic. But it's not creating panic in an unhealthy way. It's just showing us what we have to work on. And then it's our responsibility to do the job, to learn how to do it. That's what all these classes are about. I have so many classes now, but it's all about this, learning how to do this. Because the alternative is a very, very unhappy life, or a life of judgment, a life of opinions, a life of knowing better than everybody else, a life of being right all the time and having to defend yourself all the time against other people's rightness. I mean, when you get that capacity to bring it below the navel, you don't need any of that crap. You just live. And you can transform whatever comes to you into chi, into harmony, balance, real internal strength. But that's the work. It's not only the work of what I teach, it's the work of the martial arts, it's the work of so many forms of inner practice. Because without that rootedness, how can you even receive the energy of God? That energy is so powerful. How can you receive it? It in itself will turn, whatever you are into fear, a form of panic and fear because it's so powerful. But when you're grounded, it's like what grows inside you is a tree of life. And the branches go endlessly into the cosmos, and the trunk is rooted inside you so that you have the strength to deal with karma, with, cosmology, the cosmos, the higher energies, the power of higher energy. You have that power inside to deal with it. I hope this is clear. This is such an important thing to learn. It's at the very foundation. To be truthful to you, my spiritual teacher, Rudy, this is the first thing he ever taught me. Getting grounded, getting centered below the navel, the power of chi, the power of being centered in the core chakra. And then the heart can open, the mind can stay quiet, the throat can open. You can use sexual energy to activate Kundalini. And when you activate Kundalini, you activated the path to a spiritual life. It takes you to God. It takes you to, a state of enlightenment. So it not only enables one to deal with karma, it enables one to deal with the entire process of an inner life, of building a connection with God, attaining a state of enlightenment, And mostly, more than anything else, just getting free of oneself. Excuse me. Does anyone else have a question? I hope what I'm talking about is clear because it's right at
Can
the
I ask,
very, yes?
sorry, can I ask one more question?
You can ask 10 more if you want.
Okay. First of all, thank you. That helped so much. Just listening to your words really calmed me down, and it just helped so much. But just one more fear pops up. Um, Obviously I've been working on focusing below the navel, but I realized that I have this fundamental fear that if my body is my ground and my center and the body dies, I have this fear. It's like, how can my body be my safe place?
Look, the body dies one day. Soul doesn't die. The chakra system doesn't die. The body, physical, material world, disintegrates, dies. You know, I mean, Rome isn't what it was, around the time of the 2000. I mean, life comes into being, it manifests the material world, and it disintegrates, deteriorates. The soul, and the chakra system, which is connected to higher energy in the universe, is not something that dies. So what you're building is that power inside you. What the body is in this lifetime is the temple where the soul lives. Understand? You get rid of a church or a synagogue, it doesn't mean that the religion is going to disappear. When the body dies, the soul lives. And it's what you take with you from this lifetime determines whether or not you go to a next lifetime. Because the education doesn't stop unless you attain a oneness with higher energy in the universe. Now, these are things that, look, I mean, you tell to certain priests and rabbi, they would tell you I'm crazy. But look, I just have so much years of experience with all this stuff, of watching it manifest inside myself. That to me, it doesn't matter what anyone says. I mean, there is a connection in every human being with higher energy in the universe, God, whatever you call it. And our job and our covenant with God, I'm going to use biblical terms here, our covenant with God is to build the system inside ourselves that truly connects us with infinite energy in the universe. That's what we're here to learn. And that enables the soul, which is a living energy in every human being, to evolve and to grow and to ultimately be connected with the Kundalini force, which takes it into the cosmos and ultimately brings it to a place in the cosmos that's outside the realms of time and space. We get free of all of this manifestation, suffering, the difficulty, the pain by doing this. Now, this can't happen unless we build a system inside that enables it to happen. And I'll repeat it again, biblically, it's a human being's covenant with higher energy in the universe. Their commitment to a spiritual life, to build that kind of system.
Wow, okay, so it's like to really come into the body and use it.
It's the temple. The body is the temple. The soul lives in the temple. The chakra system exists in the temple. The chakra system are like altars in the temple that give you a direct connection with higher energy or God or whatever you want to call it.
And it doesn't work to just skip the body part and just.
That's where the soul lives, in the body. And look, you're going to get sick. You're going to get problems. We all do. I have to have a tooth pulled tomorrow. There's always something that goes on in life. And it's our job to use whatever it is that goes on in our life as a way of getting closer to our spiritual enlightenment and to transform suffering into a spiritual life. I mean, I've had lots of people who have come to me with cancer and all kinds of problems. And the first thing I ask them before I start doing any kind of healing work with them, do you want to have a spiritual life? Do you want to be connected with God? Because if that is true, they can take any condition inside themselves, and transform it into a connection into a state of spiritual enlightenment. It means cancer, heart conditions, AIDS, that people used to study with me with AIDS. I would do healing work with them. And that was the first question I would always ask them. Do you want to use this condition you have to get closer to God? Yes? Okay, now we have to build a system inside that enables you to do it, to transform the pain, the suffering, the difficulty into a connection with higher energy in the universe. And the real healing is not getting physically healthy again. The real healing is the heart opens and there's gratitude, there's love, there's joy. That's the real healing. Not, that you live another 5 years, 10 years, or whatever. Yeah, okay, that's nice too. But the real healing, God is love. The heart is open. I am a child of God living in this world. I can surrender inside myself and I can be one with that higher. That is the real healing. And all the rest of it goes to the grave. That's where it goes. And you're really healed. The soul transports itself into a much higher plane of consciousness. I know this is not easy, but I hope it's clear to you all that that's what this work is about. This is exactly what I'm talking is what this work is about that we do here. And it doesn't mean we don't have a life and enjoy our life and have all the rewards that life can truly offer us, money and relationships and marriages and children and all of that is secondary to, can we use whatever takes place in our life as a teacher that helps us get closer to our spiritual enlightenment. There are a lot of temples. The body is one, but the greatest temple of all is life. It's the greatest teacher. It's life. Life itself is the greatest teacher. And we all need to get strong enough in ourselves to be able to embrace it and let it teach us, not being so upset at it. Let it teach us what we have to do to grow. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, God bless. Thank you. Say it all
Thank
the
you
time.
so much.
And once again, you all are my guru. You all are here to teach me what I need to learn to also grow. I'm not just here to teach. I'm also here to learn. I haven't arrived, I'm growing, and I think the path to enlightenment is the path of internal growth and developing a connection with what's infinite in the universe. And one has to spend every day of their life learning how to do this. So God bless you all. Thank you. And there'll be a class on Sunday. If my full tooth allows me to attend it, I probably will. I probably will wait a couple of days. And God bless you. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Stuart.
Beautiful.